Hello everyone, this is Adris here, and today I'm going to make a quick video on how to use React hooks with Context API. And we're going to make this tiny application to-do list where we can add items and remove them. And yeah, very simple and easy and quick project. And hooks we will be using would be React use context, use reducer, and use ref with Context API. So let's just get into it. Alright guys, so to start off I'm going to create a folder in this source folder. I will name it items, and then in this folder I'm going to create a file called items.js, and this is going to be a React functional component, so RFAC, and for now we're going to return a h1 which says items, and we're going to import these items into this app.js. So import items from items, and then items, and under this header I'm gonna do items, and next I'm gonna go into source folder again and create a folder called context, and in this folder we're going to create 3 files. The first one would be .js, and then another one would be context.js, and last one would be reducer.js. Now first I'm going to go into this context.js, and in here we're going to import create context from React, and next I'm going to create a variable called context, and in which we're going to initialize this create context, and then we're going to export it. So export default context, and we are done with this context.js. We can close it, and next I'm going to go into this state.js, which is going to be a React functional component, and in this we're going to import our context, which we just created, by the way. So this is going to be from from context, and this component would have props, and this would return something called context.provider, because eventually what we're going to do is wrap our whole application with this provider, and so this would have props.children to make anything available to our application from this state. So to do this we have to pass through this value. So for now I'm going to put an object, and that would be items, and that would be in initial state dot items, if I can spell. Sorry guys, I can't really spell. So let's just create this initial state, and this would have items, which would be just an array, item1 pretty hard for me to spell, item2, and then item3. That would be enough for now. So as I said, we are going to wrap our whole application with this provider, so let's just do that quickly. So we're going to import our provider in this app.js. So provider from our context and from our state, in a context from our state, and we have provider, and we're going to grab this ending tag and put at this end. So now anything in this value would be available into this app.js. So, what is this error? It's just compiling. I misspelled here. React, not cat. Sorry, React. So it should be okay. Alright, so next I'm going to go into this items.js and bring it here. We're going to use a React hook called use context. So we can use our context. So we also need to import our context, by the way. So we need to import our context from, and that's gonna be one level up into our context, and then context, and we need to use our hook use context, and we're going to pass context here, and I'm gonna store this into a variable called context with small c. And next I'm gonna do a little bit of destructuring. So I'm gonna grab our items from this context, let's put a space, and now I'm gonna go under this header, sorry, h1, and grab this items and do a map on it. So item, and I want to return li, and I'm going to put item here, and we can use this as a key as well, just to avoid that console error. So item, so let's just save and see what happens. So there we go. Okay, what is happening? Because I misspelled again, sorry guys. Alright, so let's just fix it. Yeah, there we go. So we have our state items available into our items.js, just because we are using this context API state, and then with this use context React hook. Pretty easy, very simple. I totally love it. Just to test it, let's just put another item here, item 4, and see what happens. It should come up. There we go. So it is working fine. Next, what I want to do is when we click one of them, it should get deleted. So let's just do that quickly. So now I'm going to use another React hook which is called use reducer, and these are two main hooks you will be using this context API, by the way. So use reducer, and then what we're going to do is go up here, and we can return a state and a dispatch from this use reducer, and which takes in reducer, by the way, which we still have to create, and also initial state, which is this. Okay, so now as this initial state is available in this state, so I'm gonna change this initial state to state before I do anything else. And next I'm gonna do and create our action, and I will name it remove, and this will take item, and in here we're going to call our dispatch, and in dispatch we need to pass our action with type, and the type would be remove, and payload I'm going to pass the item. And let's just do the reducer because it is complaining already. So reducer is just a simple function which takes in state and which takes in state and action and in the reducer we're going to do a switch statement, and we're going to evaluate action action dot payload, action dot type what I'm doing. Right, and the other thing what I forgot, error equal sign. And in our switch statement I'm gonna do our default case first. So for default we want to return our state, and first I'm gonna do a case where the type is going to be remove. This is what I believe I called it, and if it is remove, it should be, we want to return, if I can spell again a copy of our state. So do a spread operator, state, and then for items we're going to grab our state and then items and do a filter method, and we're going to do item, and we want to return any item which any item which is not equal to action dot payload. So let's just check, and now we need to go back to state and import our reducer. Goes from the reducer and save it, and so it does not, we forgot to export it. So export default, not default reducer. Yep. And we also need to make sure this remove is available, so do that so we can use it in our application. So I'm gonna go back into items.js, and in here on our allies I'm gonna do on click, and I'm going to do an inline function which will call our remove, which we still have to, oops, I don't know what I'm doing I'm making this video pretty late, by the way, guys. And alright, so do this, we will need to bring in remove, and hopefully this works. So let's just test it. So there we go, it is working. Wow. So next what I want to do is add an item. Okay. So let's just do that quickly. I'm trying to do it fast because I want to make a small video or short video, so I don't want to I'm sorry if I'm not explaining well, because I know I'm just showing you guys how to use React hook with context API. So I'm just assuming all of you guys already know context API or even React hooks as well. So if you want me to make a detailed and in-depth video, I can do that. All you have to do is subscribe and leave some comments, so I would appreciate that. So let's just do quickly add item. So to do this, let's just go back to state.js, and I'm gonna go and copy this remove and paste it and change this to, actually, yep, no, I can't, add, and then here I will do add, and the remaining would be the same. And I'm gonna go back to our reducer and copy paste this case as well, and then do some changes. So I'm gonna do add, and in here instead of this filter, what I'm gonna do is do an return array with the state dot items, and then action dot payload, and save it. And also we need to make sure it is available here in this value. So add, however we are missing a component, so add component or an input or form. So let's just go into this items folder and create add item.js maybe and then this will be a React functional component as well. So RFAC, and I'm just gonna return here a form tag, and which will have no action. Instead it would have on submit, on submit, and I will do handle I leave it on submit with small s, submit. And in this form we're going to return an input, and in this component I'm going to bring in another React hook, which is useRef, and also our use context, which we've been using before. So we need to import our context. That's gonna be from, I think it's to level up, yes, and then from context. And next I'm gonna go and create context as we did before. So we're going to use context and pass in our context, and I'm gonna do a bit of destructuring again and grab it, our add from context. And next we're going to use our this useRef hook, and I'm going to create a constant called items, and here we will use useRef, and we will pass initial value an empty string, and we will use it in this input. So that would be ref, and we will pass what did I call, item. Save it. And next all we have to do is create this on submit. So on submit which will take a event. Okay, and we need to do e.prevent prevent default. I'm sleepy, guys. Okay, and then we're going to call our add, and we're going to pass item dot current dot value. Okay, and then after that I just want to reset items item values, current value, so value back to nothing. So let's just import this add item in our app.js because we haven't imported it yet. So let's just copy this and paste it here, and I'm gonna change this to add item. Great. Okay, so I should have done it items and then add item, and then alright, so it's complaining again because I should have used capital A, and yep, and just change this to, where is it, it's here. Right, so I'm gonna put above these items and under this header. Yeah, maybe it's gonna look weird, but that's okay. Add item, sorry, because this items is under this, but it doesn't really matter anyways. We got our input here, so I should have done a placeholder in this. Where is it? Input. So placeholder, maybe I enter your item here. Okay, so let's just test it. So I'm gonna be too lazy. Oh, what is it? It's not prevent default because I did another typo here. Alright, so let's just test it. There we go, so it is working. Okay guys, right, thank you so much. I know this shouldn't be this longer because I aimed it for a really short video because I think I'm still not really good with making quick videos. But yes, all I wanted to do is show you guys how can you use React hooks, use context, use reducer, and use ref with this context API. So this is why I've come up with this tiny video. Maybe not any more tiny, but yeah, thank you so much for watching it guys, and I would appreciate if you could subscribe because I'm struggling to get some subscribers. So yeah, I'll see you in another video with maybe another topic. So thank you so much, have a lovely one.